If you've got your ear to the bayou on these sort of things, then you've probably already seen Crytek's teasing of the drone bug that they released on Twitter. This is apparently the anti-camping mechanic that Crytek has been talking about for quite some time. While I think there are plenty of people who are being cautiously optimistic, or at least waiting for more details, I've seen a lot of people who are very worried about this, and I definitely understand that. I know that when I first saw it, I definitely recognized the potential for this to mix up the game formula, perhaps more than Crytek expects. I think that very much remains to be seen, but there is something I want to comment on very quickly. In most of the threads that I perused so far, I've seen people speculate that this might be a consumable, or a tool, or even a trait. Each option would, of course, raise the question of, well, how is this balanced by things like cost? However, what I saw less, honestly I didn't see it at all, I'm just trusting that somebody did say this, is the possibility that this is not any of those things at all. A big part of that is because when I hear the term anti-camping mechanic, what I think of is something that generally or conditionally all players have access to out in the bayou. That is, mechanics like wall penetration, or burning out dead hunters, or dark sight and boosted dark sight, etc. Your loadout and your trait choices can of course influence these, like how bringing FMJ can enhance your ability to wallbang somebody, and bringing poison ammo opts out of that ability for a different advantage. Same with how bringing a Molotov means you don't have to depend on finding a lantern to burn out a dead hunter. But outside of things like that, these are things that the bayou itself provides. My prediction is that their anti-camping mechanic is that same sort of thing, and this drone that we're seeing is not something you equip at the start, but rather is something you will find surrounding the boss layer. I suspect that just like how we find the Easy Snake ovens around the boss layer in this current event, we're going to find eggs or nests or something along those lines that we can use to spawn these drone beetles. Part of me even wonders if the ovens from this last event were actually a trial run of this sort of system, testing everything from the spawn logic for a larger object in the boss compounds, as well as collecting data from players interacting with these objects in a dangerous place, like the boss layers. I certainly hope that this is their plan, for a number of reasons. For one, if the goal is to counteract camping and make the game more engaging, then I think we'd see more success from something baked into the compounds themselves, as opposed to something contingent on whether or not players or teams had brought a particular item or trait. In that case, if a team is holed up and refusing to come out, then you might choose to go to a nest. If the bounty team figures out that you're scouting them, they might already know some places to check and take advantage of that, encouraging them to peek, flank, or in some other way try to leverage that knowledge. In theory, at least, that means there's not really a way for the team that is camping in, say, the boss layer to use it. At least not without taking a fairly big risk and sending a player out to one of those nests or eggs themselves. If it does work this way, that also means that it would always be confined to fights in and around the boss layers, and means you always, again in theory, have a way to get enough intel to support a breach without being insta-clapped by somebody with a Romero. So again, I'm definitely a bit worried about something like this,
Patching into my eye in the sky. I'll let you know what I see.
especially for solo players, but baking this into the boss compound to me sounds like the best way to achieve what they're trying to, so hopefully that's their angle. Another possibility I saw was that maybe it only happens when a player is killed, so that essentially to take advantage of this, you will have to lose somebody to the camping team. That makes some sense, although I do also worry about that because that means that dropping somebody is potentially, if you are a solo at the very least, as much a disadvantage as an advantage, depending on whether or not you can kill the bug and how easy that is to do.
Got one apparently?
Anyway, I just wanted to get some quick little speculation out there because I'm curious about this, and I'm also curious if my theory is correct. So for now, we're just going to have to wait and see what Crytek has up their sleeves. I am very curious what your thoughts are, though, so please feel free to put down in the comments your own predictions and whether or not you think what I'm saying makes any sense, or if you are convinced that it will be a tool or a trait, or if there's some other avenue I haven't even considered yet. Oh, and before I sign off, just a quick little update on the videos. I have another one in the works. It may be a little while, things have just gotten fairly busy, but I'm working on both dual pistol accuracy as well as ammo variants for shotguns, and we'll just see which one of those comes out first. So until next time, thank you for listening.